Good day and welcome to our online message for this week. My name is Deanne Carter and I have the privilege of serving as the pastor of Margarettsville and Lower Granville Baptist churches. Thank you for inviting me into your home today, and I pray that this message is a blessing to you. Well, last week we had an actual physical present that we opened, and unfortunately I don't have one like that this week. And I say it's unfortunate because we all enjoyed opening that gift, didn't we? And even more, we enjoyed what that gift was. It was the gift of peace, something we all long for, something that some of us had already received, but perhaps we needed to be reminded that we'd already received this gift and somehow we had lost it. And then there it was for us again. And for some of us, we had not yet received this gift of peace. And here it was for us to accept. Well, today we are receiving another gift because of Christmas. And this gift is our theme for the third Sunday of Advent. It's the gift of joy. Does anyone need this gift today? Life continues to march along, doesn't it? And it wears us down. Some of us may be very tired from all the responsibilities we have. Some of us are tired because of constant pain or dealing with serious illness, either in ourselves or with our family or loved ones. Some are tired from having a long to-do list and no energy to actually be able to do the things on our list. Some wonder and worry about where the world is headed, how we as a society will survive. So I think it is safe to say that we can all appreciate the gift of joy. And the good news is that, like the gift of peace, joy from the gift of Christmas is the same joy that comes from the world and only lasts a short time. It's not the same joy that comes from the world and only lasts a short time. Joy from God is eternal. Now, we can have joy in all circumstances. We can experience it on our mountaintops, but also in our valleys, because Jesus is with us and Jesus is our joy. The angel said, "I bring you good news of great joy for all people." This good news they were talking about does not just bring joy, but it brings great joy. Have you experienced it? I know many of you have. I came across this little illustration to help us better understand this great joy. And the author says, joy is a lot like trying to put a puppy in a box for Christmas. It comes spilling out of the box to love and to lick everyone that's around. Fortunately, joy is not hairy and does not make a mess, but joy is boundless and uncontainable. Joy overflows. And when you've experienced joy, you want to share it with someone else, with everyone that you meet, perhaps, because you want them to experience it too. Joy bubbles over and touches everyone it comes into contact with. Is your joy bubbling over this season? I pray it is. But if not, it can be. As we look at the Christmas story, we see this joy overflowing onto everyone. It went viral, if you will. It showed up everywhere. And it's because of Christmas and Easter and what happened that we can have this gift of joy so many years later. It continues to spread. But sadly, not everyone has experienced this joy. And some are not even open to the possibility of it yet in their lives. Not everyone believes that this joy from God at Christmas is real. and that it can and does make a difference in their lives. Albert Walsh, in his sermon called When the Angels Stop Singing, he shares the following story. He says it was Christmas Eve, and she was scheduled for a visit. I had never met the woman, but I had been told, actually I had been warned. She's a bitter old bat, they'd say. She's mean-spirited and spiteful, said others. And as I drove down her winding driveway, my wondering mind was filled with foolish thoughts of bat wings and broomsticks. She was nothing of the kind. No contemporary Scrooge. But she was lonely and alone with her thoughts. A woman tormented by a troubled life. A person scarred by sadness and bruised by bad faith of others she once held dear. Let me tell you about the lady. Her husband beat her without mercy until the night he drove into a pole. She had one son in prison and a daughter walking the streets. And in 10 years, no one from the church had expressed a lick of interest in her welfare. Eventually, the conversation turned from pain to pleasure as I spoke of Christmas and the promise of joy. With one deep sigh, she said, "Pastor, Christmas is for brightly wrapped presents and parents with pleasant children, not for the poor and the lonely." I responded, "But the angels first sang to the lowly shepherds." And smiling, she said in return, "Sure, but when the angels stopped singing, the poor were still poor, and the lonely were still alone. Nothing had changed. Nothing." Well, I don't mind telling you that I was stunned into silence. I made my way to the car, and through the remaining afternoon, I was haunted by her words. Was it bitterness talking? Were her wounds so deep that even the warmth of Christmas wonder could not melt her icy emotions? Or did she speak on behalf of so many others? Her words troubled me. He goes on to say this. He says, "So here is something to think about. Sooner or later, the decorations will find their way back into the attic. The once gaily dressed tree, now stripped, will gradually turn brown in some open field, and we will pull the plug on all those bright colored lights. Then what? Then life returns to its usual hectic and hassled pace. Smiles are no longer wholesale. Holiday cheer gets short-circuited. And sad but true, we all become a tad more self-centered. But maybe that's the worst we can hope for when the angels stop singing. Or is it? I certainly hope not. I prefer to believe that this night will make a difference in you and in me. That is. But the mystery and the wonder of Christ cannot be confined to one night, even a night filled with the voices of angels. The real wonder of Christ can be experienced only by those who worship and follow along after the tinsel has tarnished and the presents are packed away. But that takes courage and commitment, because when we turn from the crib, we face a cross. And when the angels stop singing, we are summoned to begin serving. Sure, she said, but when the angels stop singing, the poor are still poor, and nothing had changed. I couldn't disagree more. In fact, everything had changed and has continued to change wherever the Spirit of the Savior, born in the stable, has been active. And Christ is still wherever his followers plant their feet. With those who are lonely, with those who are hungry, with those who are homeless, and those who are heartless. So when the wonder of this night has worn thin and the enchantment has ended, Christ will be waiting for you and for me to commit to his ministry of mercy and compassion. Friends, when we realize what happened on that night so long ago in Bethlehem, who that baby was, we should be filled with great joy. The fact that Jesus came, that he died for us, that he rose again from the dead, makes all the difference. This Jesus, whose birth we celebrate, loves us, and he wants a very personal relationship with each one of us. This Jesus is the only one who can meet our every need. He can provide solutions to every problem that we face or that we will face in the future. He can satisfy every longing of our soul. He can give us joy. No, actually, he can give us great joy, everlasting joy. And that joy is what is noticed by others. That joy is what is contagious. And it's not just to happen at Christmas time, but all year as we live our lives as believers. That joy of a relationship with Jesus and the acceptance of his gift of salvation it's what bubbles out of us for others to see, isn't it? As we read the Christmas story, we see joy spreads like wildfire. It starts with the angel and his visit to Zachariah and Elizabeth. You remember who they were? They were the ones who had wanted a child for so long, and now they were very advanced in years. But nothing is too hard for God. And the angel comes and foretells the birth of their son, John the Baptist. He says, he will be a joy to you. And then we keep reading and we see Mary comes to visit Elizabeth, who's her cousin. And as she approaches Elizabeth's unborn baby, John the Baptist leaps up with joy within her womb. Elizabeth's neighbors and relatives, they hear of what the Lord had blessed, how the Lord had blessed Elizabeth. And the Gospel of Luke says they shared her joy. When Gabriel, the angel, appears to Mary with the Annunciation, the first words off of his lips is rejoice, which means be full of joy, Mary. And then in the text, often called Mary's song, she cries out, my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. When the angels appear to the shepherds in the fields, in Luke 2, they say, do not be afraid. We bring you good news of great joy. And then Simeon and Anna in the temple, they felt joy over Jesus because of the hope this promised child brought them. And the wise men, and then finally the joy continues to spread throughout the world. This joy, it couldn't be kept quiet. This love of God had to be shared. And even today, those of us who believe are not to be quiet. After all, why would we want to keep quiet about receiving the gift of eternal life and having a personal relationship with Almighty God? We too can be like the angels on that glorious night when Jesus was born, and we can sing and we can share the good news of great joy. And we can do this because God is with us, just as he was with them back then. Emmanuel, God with us. The Apostle Peter wrote these words. He says in chapter 1, 1 Peter 1, verses 8 to 9, he says, though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him. And you are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls. May those you and I meet, may those we see, feel this joy that we have in Jesus. May this joy bubble up from inside of us and flow out of us into our homes and into our communities. And may all who enter our doors be in awe of the joy that we have in the Lord. Amen. Amen. Now let me pronounce this benediction, and thank you for joining with me today. Be people of joy. Let joy live in your heart, and share the joy of Christ with all you meet. Share joy by seeing the good in each other. Share joy by remembering good times and hoping for good times to come. Share joy by praying for our world. In this Advent season, we need to see, feel, and share joy. As you go out into the wonder of God's creation, share joy, peace, and hope with those you meet. Amen.